she wiggles around a lot, this one.
Now I gotta ride or die.
So guys, welcome back to the channel. Today you join me from the driver's seat of a 140i, a 2018 plate BMW 140. Now this is a completely stock powered car with around 340 brake horsepower, and as you can see by the title, I nearly bought one of these at one point. When I sold the RS3, this was sort of the way I was going, or a performance BMW model. This was sort of the entry-level one I wanted to get into at the time. The amount of good one of these on the market and the amount of power you can get from these engines is fantastic. So I thought I'd grab this one today and just chat about the experience of it, the ownership side, and the idea of possibly having one of these in the fleet at some point in the not-so-distant future. We will see. Anyway, guys, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel if you hadn't, but onwards to the beat roads. We're interrupting today's video to give a massive thank you to today's sponsor, Yes Auto. Yes Auto is the one-stop shop for buying any car, with an experience that's always easy and enjoyable. Navigating onto the website, you can select each brand that you want to look at, each model, and even down to colour variant. You can also select through the images, as well as looking at brand new cars in 360 degrees inside and out. I myself spend a lot of time just looking at cars for sale, so it's awesome to jump on the Yes Auto website to have a look at cars for sale. You can even do a smart search on new and used cars with an option to select cash price or monthly costs. Their aim is to make car buying easy and enjoyable. Yes Auto are the one-stop shop offering a simple, impartial way to configure and compare new and used cars from almost any manufacturer, with a whole load of clever tools and media content for total reassurance. Once again, a huge thank you to Yes Auto for sponsoring today's video. There is a link in the description to the Yes Auto website. Thank you so much again to Yes Auto for sponsoring today's video, but let's get back to the action. So first things first, she wiggles around a lot, this one. It's actually sat on the Michelin Pilot Sport tyres. Relatively alright day. It's not freezing cold. It's, you know, a typical March day in the UK. I feel this car, although it hasn't got the LSD in the back, that's what really squirrels these rear ends out, because it breaks traction here and there. It creates a fantastic driving experience, you know, compared to a M3 or an M4, say. There's a definite difference in this car and how it tracks. The fundamental thing is, though, value for money is where it's at on one of these, and that's why I was so intrigued to drive this one and actually buy one myself at some point, because although we'd recently driven one of these for the channel, or even in third, it's just like, I hadn't really taken it for a drive, like a test drive, like I was driving the car that I wanted to buy next. And that's what I really wanted to do in this video. Yes, we're going to go through some ownership side to this. You can buy these, well, this generation, an 18 plate one, for around £23,000 for the one I'm driving today, with, you know, a good bit of mileage, say 16,000 miles. Not a bad shout, considering, you know, that's the same as an S3, say. And what I said in the last M140i video that I shot was, you know, when the 135s came out, they were pitched against RS3s, and, you know, I've driven an RS3 and owned an RS3. Jolly fast, this thing, lovely. After owning an 8P RS3 and then going forwards and driving other 8V RS3s, the 8V is a complete different kettle of fish to this 140, which at the time, you know, going back, Chris Harris did in theory pitch the 8P RS3 against a 135 or a 140 of the same sort of generation. I don't think you could do that now, and that's one of those things. An RS3 8V, say, of this generation is a lot more money. You get a lot more car, I get that, but this is more of a driver focused rear wheel drive fun car,
And if you did want to get yourself into an M car, say, you know, like the owner, he's 24 years old that owns this car, and you know, insuring an M3 or an M4 is considerably more money for him. It's around £800 a year for him to insure this car as it sits at 24 years old, around 6 years, no claims. That is a bloody good shout, and not a lot of money really for such a good performance car. And yes, you could get yourself into a 140 that's a lot cheaper than this, you know, a previous generation. This is a shadow edition, so you are paying a bit of a premium for, you know, lower mileage and nicer, newer version of that car. The reality is, I don't think you can go wrong in these cars. Yes, an M4 and an M3 will give you a lot more, in the sense they will give you more, and I get that, and I've driven enough M4s, especially as a younger person. You're not really going to, well, some people out there might, but you know, there's not a lot of people out there that can afford to insure those sorts of cars. That's why these cars come into their own, and this one is a prime example. Yes, it's completely standard power, but it's a prime example of what you can get for your money. Yeah, this is a really good car. It's lively on the rear end, but this one has spaces. It's lowered 35mm, and as you can see, it's got a couple of rather nice blacked out accents on it with these nicer mirror caps as well. I really do like the mirror caps on this. The Maxton design front and rear splitters with a Riga rear diffuser. It does look really, really good. And again, this is, you know, subtle mods to a relatively standard car. I say that lightly because the best part about this car, and I feel the best part you can do to any of these cars, is yes, mapping and various other pop and bang related things, but this one's got a retrim steering wheel, which is just, it's heavenly to drive this, with Alcantara sides, leather, top and bottom with a blue stripe. It's just such a nice place to be in here with that simple modifications. You know, a couple £100 to retrim a steering wheel like this. So yeah, really, really impressive car, and it does bring up the question again, should I have bought one of these for the channel? Is it something that you guys would have appreciated and watched? And I don't know, today driving this one, I am a BMW fan, and I've driven M4s and M3s, but for value for money, say on the other side, if you were looking at a cheaper one of these, it's a lot of car for the money. And if you were to try and get into an 18 plate, say M3 or M4, it would be so much more money than this. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below of this 140i. Should I have bought one after my RS3? Should you completely cancel out the 140 and go straight into an M car? Or is this the perfect rear wheel drive performance car before you get yourself into an M car? Does that make any sense? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I'm going to carry on enjoying this thing down some B roads. Thank you so much for watching, guys. See you on the next one.